You're in your late 40s or perhaps like me in your 50s and have built a wildly successful life, but you find yourself asking, who am I? Today I want to discuss and explore creating a life aligned with our purpose through reconnecting and realigning our inner world so we can live boldly and authentically. Welcome to Her Second Stage, the podcast dedicated to inspiring successful women in the next stage of their lives. I'm Hilda Lunderstedt, and I'm excited to share the lessons I've learned as I transitioned into my second stage. Join me on this exciting journey of sisterhood and remembering who we are at our core. Remember, no matter where you've been, the best is yet to come. We have built amazing lives. We are brave and bold, but it hasn't always been easy, and we faced our challenges with a smile. Today's episode and discussion, I want to explore our connectedness to our inner world to create alignment as we embark on the second stage of life. The team that navigates our inner world is our spirit, body, heart, and mind. And as they work together, they guide us to a life in line with purpose. This is so important to understand, yet very few of us has ever had these conversations or been taught how to tap into the gifts that they offer. And that, I believe, is our birthright. And especially as we embark on this next phase of life, I think it is important to have the conversation so we can rediscover, reignite, and realign our inner world to create our next phase with authenticity. As businesswomen, we understand business, companies, what the roles of our executive teams are, and what we can expect. Most of us have experienced what happens in an organization where there's misalignment among executives. The disharmony and disruptions leading to chaos that can cause the organization to fail. No one chooses to work for a company when they know the senior team or the board is in constant conflict. The stress is too high, yet this is exactly what so many people experience without even realizing it often. Using the business example as a comparison helps me to describe the inner experience when our spirit, body, heart, and mind are not aligned or work together as an aligned team. Our beliefs, thoughts, emotions, feelings, decisions, and actions creates our personality. This determines the reality we experience, the reality of life. All of this is governed by our inner executive team. Few people know and understand the interconnectedness of the body, spirit, mind, and heart. I hope that through the discussion, you will become more self-aware and incorporate some of the learnings into your already amazing life. We do degrees, courses to understand business, management, the role of team members, but very few of us spend the time understanding the role of our inner executive council. The importance of alignment to create not only material success, but true joy, happiness, and abundance. Discord, misalignment, and disharmony will be experienced as inner chaos, the same as my business comparison I used. I too was unaware of the significance of an aligned inner team until I started studying somatic transformation and dove deep into the energy of healing. I created a wildly successful business. I made a lot of money. I had financial freedom, but I wasn't happy or joyful. I was stressed, had insomnia, wasn't eating healthy, and I felt I had a very little balance in my life. I felt trapped in my success, and I felt disillusioned. I felt like life was happening to me. I was forced to face things I didn't want to look at. In this journey of discovering my authentic self, I learned just how disconnected my inner counsel was. Now I realize life happens for me, and I see the blessing in the good and the ugly. This was a journey of self-discovery, and I came to accept and love the journey and not care so much about the destination. I hope through this discussion to create awareness, because with awareness, we can develop tools. When we have tools, we can change our life. And when our lives are changed, the planet changes. Through the understanding and creating of awareness, we can remove distortions, dissonance, and noise, and we can replace it with flow, joy, bliss, where opportunities come our way without us having to chase anything anymore. Dissonance, distortions, and disconnectedness, on the other hand, causes repeating deeply unconscious patterns through the course of our lives, which we can see in making the same mistakes over and over, or experiencing states of being triggered, causing reactions that impact every aspect of our lives through its consequences. I think most of us at our age have experienced being triggered many times over and over, or witnessing ourselves repeating a pattern that doesn't serve us without a deeper understanding why we do it. Not understanding our patterns and triggers and mental behaviors can cause huge disruptions. On the other hand, understanding the experiences are signs that we are being guided to something different, and understanding that our experiences are our inner executive council trying to talk to us, to guide us to our purpose so we can experience the most alignment possible. Hopefully, by the end of the episode, you'll be smiling and understand your own inner world so much better. I understand that this is a deep and seemingly heavy conversation, but I will try and make them easy to understand and hopefully add some humor. Besides the business example, another great way to describe our inner executive council is to compare it with a car. Our body is the vehicle, our spirit is the driver, our mind is the map or navigation system, and our heart is the steering wheel and turning signal. You see, we need all four to get to the destination. All four of these aspects of us need to be in agreement and work in unison in order to get to a desired purpose in our life. We can imagine the chaos if the vehicle is not controlled by a driver, or there's no steering wheel, or even no navigation to guide us to where we need to go. This is the situation so many people find themselves in. To the contrary, when we are aligned with our soul purpose, everything works together, the journey becomes exciting, and you experience the universe working for you. Even when things don't go as you wanted or as planned, you see the divine guidance, lessons, and wisdom you receive in every situation. If you're not consciously aware of this and merely plodding along, dealing with chaos, one crisis after another, you might believe that there is something out there working against you. I know I sure felt like that sometimes. Most often, we are not even aware of the internal chaos and the distortions that build up over a lifetime. We think it's just how things are or how we are. So let's discuss the different aspects of our body being the vehicle. We have our physical body, the one we live in. We have an energy body, which is our aura, and we have a spirit body, our soul. The physical body experiences our physical reality through our senses, sensations, creating emotions, and it's also the place where our intuition or gut feeling is situated. The physical body is our vehicle that takes us from birth to death, and the vehicle through which we soul is experiencing life. Our energetic bodies are our energetic signatures. This energetic signature is the auric field outside of our physical body, and it attracts or repulses experiences on a non-physical level. You walk into a room and you feel the energy. You experience a person before they even speak to you, and so do they experience you on the energetic level first. Our spirit body or our soul represents our higher wisdom, and it's the bridge connecting the Creator and all of the universe with our body. Let's discuss the mind and the role of the mind as the navigation system, as a major part of the Inner Executive Council. The reason why I start with the mind is because this is the place where most of us stay stuck in most of the time, for a very long time. In the current culture of business, we've been sold the lie that mind knows everything and we should use facts only to make decisions. The proverbial mind over matter, I believe, is absolutely nonsense. Through only consulting our mind by itself, we take past experiences, extrapolate them to a point in the future. We use different scenarios to get to that point, and we play these out in our mind. And then we base our decision on the best possible scenario that we think it could be. But all we do is we take experiences of the past, extrapolate them to the future, and we keep on repeating the past. The role of the mind is to create meaning and stories around experiences, storing these experiences as memories for future use. The mind also stores our beliefs, which are our operating system, the software that drives the car, in simpler terms. As the mind creates stories about events, situations, and experiences, and as we believe them and let them go unchecked, this can keep us stuck in our mind and in a constant state of hypervigilance. Back to our car example, our mind is the navigation system, and as the navigation system decides the best route to the destination based on all the routes that it's known. Imagine we don't now and again update the navigation system. We simply take the old routes to a destination when there might be alternatives unbeknownst to us. So let's take one step further. Whether the state of your navigation system is updated or not, we make a decision of where we want to go to, and we have a map, albeit outdated possibly, how to get there. But we get into the car, and we never check to see if the car has any gas, so we can't even get started. Or the steering wheel is broken or stuck, and we end up going nowhere. You get the picture, and you can see this chaos and stress, right? Yet this is what so many people unconsciously are experiencing without knowing that there's something they can do about it. Why don't we upgrade our navigation system through upgrading our thinking patterns so we don't stay stuck? We do our best to achieve our goals, but we are not thriving. We are so steadfast in figuring things out in our thinking mind and the stories that we create. We give the mind so much power, and it's not even a consideration that there could be another way. We cannot deny that the mind is super important, but as a tool, but must be validated and aligned by the body, mind, and spirit. Our mind has three aspects to it: the conscious, the subconscious, and the superconscious mind. The conscious mind is the observer and meaning maker of our experiences. The subconscious mind houses our core belief system. Our belief system is the software that's constantly running in the background, and with the role to constantly look and see the things in life in order to further support our belief system. The mind will not even allow any information to enter if it's not aligned with our belief system. Seeing that our belief system has been created through our experiences throughout life, and especially through lessons by primary caregivers before the age of 7 years old, it is safe to say that 75% of our beliefs aren't even ours, but have been passed on by other people. Looking at, and if necessary, challenging our beliefs to see whose they are and if they are still relevant and serving you will be eye-opening. If you want to change the results of your life, you have to change and upgrade the operating system, your belief system. It's important to discard and replace what does not serve you anymore. Only with a software upgrade, so to speak, will the mind allow you to have new experiences. The third mind, our superconscious mind, is the bridge between the physical and the energetic body. Listen to the episode called Mind Wisdom for deeper understanding of the mind. Moving on to the heart center, which is also called our center of desires or our passion center. The voice of your heart will guide you to the things you love with compassion. Unfortunately, modern life and businesses are not embracing decisions made with this part of us, resulting us to become completely disconnected with our passions and instilling passion in our business. Most decision makers have endured a lifetime of disappointment and hurt, causing them to create walls around their feeling center to protect them against future disappointments and failures, and to avoid painful experiences, thus completely isolating the voice of the heart. Our heart or passion center is the guidance to what we love, and when it is shut down and becomes silent, our minds take over control. We all experience many businesses operating with no heart, no consideration for people or planet, and I believe this is an outdated model, and that heart-centered people and businesses should become the new model for a sustainable future for humanity. It's very important to remember that the role of the mind is not to ensure we stay true to our passions. It will ensure that you believe the stories and narratives, and thus it can pull you further away from a heart's true desires if you're not aware of it. The heart, through emission of very powerful magnetic frequency, attracts our experiences and steers the vehicle in the right direction. It's so important to be conscious of our emotions and our feelings as a guidance tool, and to have a practice to check in with your heart center daily. If the heart is the center of our desires and magnetizes what we manifest, and so many people are disconnected from their passions and desires, I have to wonder if the alarming rate of heart-related deaths are connected. Many people are not following their heart's desires and passions, but rather opt to stay in a stressful job where they feel safe, or possibly they just fear the change. We've all heard the story, like, example, the lawyer who secretly is dreaming to become an artist, but he stays in his job that he hates for years and often decades. As time goes by, he becomes more and more disconnected from his passion and the voice of his heart, and his mind takes over and controls with reason. So here's what I'm wondering. Could it possibly be why our hearts get sick and stop working? Because we're not listening to it, and it thinks, what's the point? Or, if you're lucky, a diagnosis becomes the wake-up call, and you leave the job to pursue something you love. I just wonder who agrees with my theory. In the episode Heart Wisdom, Tapping into Your Inner Compass, we'll explore this more. So as you can see, the heart and mind works together in navigating and steering you. And so does the spirit and body. In our car example, the spirit is the driver. Every spirit has been allocated a body at birth, and this is how our soul have a human experience. When I use the word spirit, you can replace it with whatever you're comfortable with, your soul, the universe, God. It's the bigger force outside of us that guides us towards our purpose. Spirit's guidance works through our senses and sensations, intuitions and gut feeling, that sense of just knowing. The language is spoken in emotions through the body, and usually it is a whisper. When we are not aligned with spirit, our body will communicate this with us, and we made up a word for that. It's called symptoms. Every symptom we experience in our body is our spirit's way to try to get our attention, and this is the way to communicate with us. Symptoms most often are warning signs or alerts for us, so we can take a look at whatever the message is that we are not listening to. First, it will start subtle, but over time will become more severe. I use the example of the stone and the brick and the pebbles. It's like when someone wants your attention. You're inside the house and they throw little stones at your windows to get your attention, but you don't hear it. And the stones, they throw bigger stones, or they throw it louder, or they throw just more stones. It is up to us to listen to when we get these little stones or little warning signs, and if we don't, we'll get a brick in the face, which is our wake-up call. Being disconnected from our bodies will ensure we do not notice these early warning signs, or we'll simply ignore them. The symptoms, or in my example, the little pebbles, continue for months, years, even decades. We see a doctor who prescribes medication to stop the symptoms, but what we actually are doing is completely shutting the voice of our body down. We make no changes, and we stay completely disconnected and ignorant to the guidance and wisdom of our bodies until the brick in the face hits us and we are forced to listen. Start recognizing or building the connection to your body and see what it is telling you. It's hard in the beginning, especially if you've never listened to your body, but over time, the signs and symptoms that will guide you becomes louder and easier. Listen to the episode called Body Wisdom, where there's a deeper discussion as to how the body guides us and how the partnership with the spirit works. For us to become more connected to our spirit, to ourselves and the world around us, we need to listen to the wisdom of our body and our hearts for clues and guidance. Doing meditation, mindfulness, and self-reflection practices will create a quiet space to connect and enhance connection and alignment with our true purpose. Constant busyness, too much on our mind, or too much mind chatter will prevent us from hearing the whisper of our spirit. What does alignment of body, heart, mind, and spirit looks like? It's when your body feels awakened with joy and pleasure because you're on your soul's journey. Your heart lights up and you begin to feel passionate about whatever it is that you are doing. Your vibrations are changing and you start attracting new experiences. Your mind will stop the chatter and start seeing opportunities to bring you in line with your desire. And so, you've changed your life. In this phase of life we are in, as we are creating our best second stage of our lives, we have to consider that possibly we could be hanging on to old, outdated beliefs that don't serve us anymore. This is also the stage of life where, if we do not connect with our voice of our heart and are disconnected from the voice of our body for decades, our physical body might throw us a brick in the face by presenting us with an illness. I'm aiming to create awareness so you can start becoming curious about yourself and see where there's opportunities for transcending to a newer version of you in this second stage of life. A version completely aligned with purpose. Same if you are in business. If your business is not in alignment with your higher purpose, you can now understand that and you can do something to make the change that will give you a life of legacy and purpose through the value you create. The peace and grace that goes with an aligned spirit, body, heart, and mind is priceless. I know because I've done the work and I've seen this in the people I've worked with. I hope listening to this episode will create the awareness and curiosity for you to explore who's in charge and why. Thank you for taking the time to listen. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. And if you do, please like, share the podcast, connect with me on social media at Her Second Stage, and find more information on community for women just like you on hersecondstage.com. I would love to hear your stories of purpose and how you find your alignment with your guidance from your inner executive council.
Let it ride.